أوكي شيخ، تفضل إن شاء الله تعالى.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد المبعوث رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل عليه صلاة دائمة إلى يوم الدين، وصل على آله وصحابته والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اجعلنا منهم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Once again, as usual, we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in humble supplication that Allah benefits us, that the grants us beneficial knowledge and help us benefit, bless us to benefit from the knowledge He has bestowed on us. Allahumma allimna ma yanfa'una wanfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna ilma. We also pray as usual for brothers and sisters in Gaza, Palestine, Yemen, Syria, Iran, Sudan, Kashmir, Myanmar, and everywhere in the world, wherever they are persecuted, oppressed, deprived of the dignity and freedom and rights. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come to their aid and relief. We will always pray for them, and we will pray that this wars of aggression, genocide, is stopped in their tracks, and Muslims must get united as a community, as a nation, and with the world who are yearning for peace, so that this wars of aggression and occupation is stopped and the persecution of people wherever they are stopped. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be their helper and guardian and protector. We have been continuing with this excellent series based on the great masterpiece of Imam Mawardi, one of the greatest giants of Islamic civilization, a great scholar, jurist, qadi, a mentor. His work, Adabud Dunya Wad Deen, this is the works covering the ethics and morality, as it, of dunya, this world and the next world. So it covers our intellectual aspect, the spiritual, the emotional, and the worldly interaction. And today we are talking about the social ethics, or we call Adabud Dunya, because in Islam there is no division between secular and religious. Islam considers us as vicegerents on earth, and while our feet is grounded firmly on the earth, our vision should be beyond, looking to the hereafter. So Imam Mawardi connects the ethics of this world with the ethics of the next world, the social, the material with the spiritual. And so today we are talking about his blueprint for a righteous society. This is a very, very relevant issue. All of the things that we see, the rampant corruption, injustice all over the world, wherever you turn, whether it is America, whether it is Canada, whether it is India, Sudan, Middle East, everywhere. What's happening is because we have lost that blueprint, the GPS that God has provided for us through the Sharia, through the revelation, so that our earthly life is connected with our other next life. So the link, the blueprint for a righteous society, and Imam Mawardi, the core idea of this session is righteousness of this world and the righteousness of religion are inextricably linked. So you cannot separate this world from the next world. It's a unity, two sides of the same coin. We are here, this is one. This is a station. This is not determination. We are on a journey now. This journey started beyond. before the womb and into the womb and now to this earth. And from here we go, we should move on. Sooner or later, we are going to check out of this motel. We will check out. And every day somebody is checking out. And you see it all around us. We go to the masajid to pray janaza. What happened? They checked out. Now they are transitioning to another phase. So that is the concept, that is beautifully provided by Imam Mawardi in his beautiful book, Adabud Dunya wal Akhirah. We are studying in his work the essential teachings, summarizing the lessons. And let me remind you, we have one more session. We were supposed to have 5 sessions, but the 2 sessions I'm compressing in the next session. So I will take a little more time, extra time, another 15 or 20 minutes, so that the 2 sessions will be compressed into one. We will try to mention all of the points, important points, and summarize everything, inshallah, and conclude this series, inshallah. And then we will see you in other series, inshallah, if Allah permits us, gives us life, long life. Inshallah, I'm dedicated to disseminating this beautiful knowledge of our beautiful religion. So, a corrupt worldly life undermines faith. So, worldly life, salahud dunya, we have to straighten out this worldly life, because without that, religion can also be corrupted. A strong faith provides the ethical foundation for a prosperous worldly life. This is what is missing, the missing dimension in the secular approach to morality and ethics. That is why I'm presenting this course, to compare and contrast. We don't need to revisit the secular approach. We are seeing it in action and we are suffering from it. It's a crisis. Human civilization is in a critical juncture, actually. So we need to be exposed to the Islamic perspective. How do we straighten out our worldly life so that this worldly life and our other worldly life can be linked together so that it can give us a meaningful, a fulfilling life here, and then it will take us to safe journey to the next world. The goal is to reform the world so that it becomes a sound vehicle to the hereafter. Ad-dunya matiyatul akhirah. This dunya is the mound. We need to ride it to get to the next. It is, as Imam Shafi beautifully put it, we look at the world, and so it is not a permanent abode for anyone. So, hasibuha lujjatan wattakhadhu salihal amali fiha sufna. They took it, as a body of water. They need to cross. They need a ship, a boat to take them to the other shore. So, what is the ship made of? Salihal amali, good deeds, acceptable performance, thinking, action, behavior. That's the vehicle that would take us safely to the other shore. World as a bridge. The whole concept of how Islam connects this world and the next is, this world is not the end. This is not the end of life. Our journey began before. 2 phases. We were nothing. We brought into existence, and then we were in the wombs of our mothers. Few months there. And from there we came to the here. And from here now another womb, barzakh. And from there we will proceed once again to the termination, to the ultimate destination. So the world is not an end but a bridge to eternal life, akhirah. So Imam Mawardi are just balances. What's the balance? Engage with the world ethically while keeping life after that death as the ultimate goal. So this world should not be the goal. We should not be occupied. If the ship has landed in a shore temporarily, people take cruise ships and they go to an island or a country for briefly for 4 days. So if they were so much occupied with amassing everything in that, you know, station, temporary, you know, station halt, there they have heavy baggages which they cannot take to the ship, or they became distracted and they lost the ship, they perish. So we should not be keeping so much heavy baggage, should not be so distracted to forget our journey to the next life. This worldview roots moral responsibility and civic engagement in spiritual accountability. Very, very important concept. Imam Mawardi projects that this is the Islamic view. So, because this world is a bridge, we should be engaged in it ethically. We should not lose sight of the hereafter. Death is Life after death is the ultimate goal. So, moral responsibility and civic engagement and with spiritual accountability, that we will be questioned. Our, our future life, it depends on the way we have performed here. World a place of trial. Know that God Almighty has made this world an abode of test. It's a test. لِنَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ. He created death because we are non-existent before, and Allah brought us to life. Why? لِنَبْلُوَكُمْ. It's a test. He's made it a path to the hereafter, not a permanent home for the resident. So the perspective here, how time here is temporary, and there is a purpose behind. We need to sow the seeds here and plant so that we harvest. We will harvest what we plant. If we plant thorns, that's what we are going to reap. If we plant fruit bearing trees and nurture it, that's what we are going to reap. The Quranic mandate for a balanced life. وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. This is, the story of Qarun, who was so much puffed up and became arrogant. Qawmi Musa, even though he belonged to the Bani Israel, he should have been a sincere follower of Musa alayhi salam, no. But he chose to be an agent of Pharaoh and lived a life of luxury and arrogance. And he thought whatever he has amassed, this great fortune and the treasures and the keys that he had, people had to carry them because heavy keys for the godowns and the treasures, houses he had. And people look up to him. And good people advised him, وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ. Seek through what God has given you. All of the things that God has bestowed on you is a test. You must use it as a capital to get to the next world, to save yourself. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. But Islam, beautiful. Don't forget your share of this world. So you don't, this is the balanced way approach to Islam, unlike other great religious traditions which has erred. Okay, like monasticism. What did they preach? And then end up violating that. You have stories after some sexual abuse of children, homosexuals, addiction, AIDS, afflicting, and the churches are going bankrupt because you lose this balanced approach. Because Allah wants us to make use of this world in such a way that it becomes helpful for us to get to the next world. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. This is the cornerstone. This was the cornerstone of Mawardi's philosophy. And this verse orders us that we need to aim for a balanced engagement with the world. We should not reject. There is no renunciation, world renunciation. You conquer the world. You amass wealth, but not let wealth possess your heart. You possess the wealth and use it for a good purpose. Rasulullah's example, is the perfect embodiment of this Quranic principle of balance, engagement with the world. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, "The best of you are not those who leave this world for the hereafter, nor those who leave the hereafter for this world, but the best of you are those who take from both, take from here, hereafter, combine and balance it." Another hadith, work for your worldly life as you still live here forever. So plan, strategize, plant your trees. Even though you may not reap their fruit, you are going to reap it next world. That's why a beautiful example, Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was passing by a patch of land which belonged to a great companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I think it was Ubay ibn Ka'b, one of the greatest scholars of Quran, a profound alim. So what's happening to this? Why you don't plant it? So Umar, you know, say, I am going to help you plant it. Because if you plant, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in another beautiful hadith, if you are holding a seedling to plant and you see the hour is approaching, don't leave the place until you finish planting it, because you will reap the fruit in the next world. So what a beautiful symbol or imagery this is. So combining, balancing. So imagine that you are going to work for this world, build and plan and everything as we are here forever, but work for your after as you will die tomorrow. The Prophet's life is the ultimate embodiment of this principle, because he was most devoted in worship, yet he was a leader, a commander in chief, a peacemaker, a statesman, husband, father, grandfather, businessman. Every experience that human being goes through, he lived engaged with life at every level, at all levels. So this is how to embody the Quranic ideal of engagement with the world, Islamic approach of combining the secular, the worldly with the otherworldly. Practical application, redefining success. Now you see modern society, the problem, what is the problem? It defines success purely material terms. So if you have a lot of wealth and status and power, they consider this person as successful. But true success is when worldly achievements are aligned with the divine purpose. Because the wealth of Pharaoh, the power of Pharaoh, the godowns of Karun and Haman and Nimrod, the tyrannical power they possessed, none of them helped them. None of it. They perished. And sooner or later, you and I will disappear from here. Nobody can hear even a sound from us. We disappear into another realm of a dimension of life. We are still alive in another dimension, reaping the fruits of our work. So the true success is when worldly achievements are aligned with divine purpose. Wealth earned ethically, spent ethically. Status gained ethically and used ethically. Power wielded ethically and used for a just cause and purpose, for betterment of human condition. A CEO strives for company growth not just for profit, but to create an ethical employment, provide a valuable service to the community, and use the profits to support just causes. Actually, even though this should be the approach of every Muslim CEO, we also are following the secular worldview. Because how often you find a Muslim CEO striving for company growth, not just for profit, but to create an ethical employment. We see most of them are not different. They may be in the first row in the masjid, but in the business, there is no difference between them and others because they have lost this Islamic worldview, Islamic perspective of aligning this world and the next world, and using this world as a bridge to the next world, and then everything aligned with the divine purpose and mandate. So create an ethical employment, provide a valuable service to humanity, and use the profit to support just causes. In this way, the ambition is channeled. The what of the company is the same, but the why has been elevated to a higher level. See, there is a realignment, a reordering of priorities, and the way things ends and means are balanced and made ethical. To sum up, the world is a means, not an end. Our mandate is to reform the world, not to abandon it. Success is the alignment of worldly action with spiritual purpose. This is a beautiful perspective, and this is the beauty of Islam. In Islamic ethics, unfortunately, Islam has been reduced to fiqh, simply legalism, ritualism, so much so that I was taken aback when I heard, one Chinese businessman came to who my son met in one of the big seminar symposia. He told him that Muslim businessmen from Canada go there in China and they want him to make duplicate fake stuff. And then while he is helping them, astaghfirullah, they insist that they need to go and eat halal restaurant where halal meat is served. So he was so shocked and he asked them, you want to eat halal food, but your business is not halal. How it's not ethical? Even they don't understand because the religion is presented as empty rituals and laws. It has no connection with ethics. But all of Sharia is ethics and morality. This salah that we perform is not acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because Maliki Yawmiddin, after you pray, you are reminded that you are accountable. So after prayer, the kind of business you are engaged in, if it is not ethical, this prayer is fruitless. So it's not enough to eat halal meat. That's just a tiny aspect. Ethics, ethical behavior, ethical business, ethical conduct, avoiding fraud, cheating, and all, very, very important. Four pillars of righteous society. Imam Mawardi says there are the four pillars. If you ethical governance to have a society that is just and balanced and ethical, four pillars. Number one, deenum muttaba. If we follow religion, a sound religion as a foundation. Number two, a just and strong authority, sultanun qahir, ruler, rule, authority. Comprehensive justice, adl shamil, amn aam, public security. These are four pillars. When these four pillars are there, sound and strong, the society will be righteous and stable and strong and just and fair, and people will flourish. Otherwise, take away any of these pillars, the society will collapse, the nation will collapse, and it will end up like a car driven without a brake. However, this shift focus from personal ethics to social structure, outlining four independent pillars. And according to Mawardi, all of these four pillars should be in place. If one falters, the entire system collapses, etc. Let us explore each one of these pillars briefly. Number one, what he mean by deen muttaba, followed religion. Because for Imam Mawardi and for Islamic theorists, political scientists, religion serves as the society's moral compass. It's a moral compass. Without the moral compass, society cannot function ethically. It cannot serve humanity. It will end up exploiting one section, the powerful exploiting the weak. By following religion, the consciences are rectified, a deterrent from sin is established, and impetus for virtue is created. When consciences are rectified, love and fellowships are bound. When sin is deterred, crimes are reduced. When virtue is encouraged, good deeds become manifest. What a beautiful concept. This is what he meant follow religion, not just a religion where there are a lot of mosque society. People go to mosque, they come out and they cheat each other, exploit each other, because that ethics is not there. So religion, he means all of this, the spiritual and moral and ethical dimension of religion. Quranic Quran on conscience and morality, indeed Allah commands justice, good conduct, and giving to relatives. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. This Umar ibn Abdullah anhu, who came after the Umayyads. Some of them became tyrannical. He became Khalifatul Rashid, a righteous caliph, following the path of the pious caliphs before, the four caliphs. What he instituted this in the khutbah, the last reminder that Allah commands justice, good conduct, and giving to relatives, and forbid immorality and bad conduct and oppression. So, conscience and morality, and another verse, cooperate in righteous ta'awun al birri wa taqwa, and do not cooperate in sin and aggression, and fear Allah, indeed Allah is severe in penalty. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily in the body, human being is there is a piece of flesh, mudgha, idha salahat salahal jasadu kulluhu. When that becomes sound, the entire body is sound. When it is corrupt, the entire body is corrupt. Allah hiya qalb, that is the heart. If the heart is sound, it's talking about the spiritual heart. So there is a connection between inner state and outer action. It's very important that our thoughts, our meditations, our thoughts, the words we say, everything, the heart, the speech, and the actions are aligned. They are sound. The heart is sound, then what we speak will be sound, because garbage in, garbage out. Holy thought, holy words, holy action. That's the whole concept of dhikr. What do we mean by everybody? A believer should be a man of dhikr, a woman of dhikr. Because good thought, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always constant in the heart, the words will be good. connected with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and your action follows suit. This three-way traffic between our thought, our words, our actions. This is the Islamic way of developing an individual and then societies. Hasan al-Basri Rahimahullah said, the believer is the guardian over his own self. He holds himself accountable for the sake of Allah. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu used to say, Hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasabu bayna yaday Allah. Examine yourself, give account, check, introspection before you are going to be examined before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imam Hasan Basri says, the reckoning on the day of resurrection will be light only for those who held themselves accountable in this world. So ask yourself, how did I perform when I was out in the masjid, interacting with the people? How did I perform in the marketplace when I was selling or buying? How did I interact with my neighbors? How did I interact with the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is accounting. Ask yourself this question. Instead of just how this man is performing, making judgment of others, examine yourself before you are being examined. If we engage in this process continuously and make it a habit, Imam Hassan Basri says that our accountability will be less. We will have to account less. Practical application of this concept is religion in public square, amana in business. A truly religious business owner won't cheat, even if they could. You have the beautiful example of Abu Hanifa rahmahullah. A lady brings us precious silk cloth. She asks for 100 dirhams for it. Imam Abu Hanifa says, no, it's worth more than that. Then give me 200. It's worth more than that. Give me 300. It's worth more than that. Give me 400. It's worth more than that. Are you making fun of me, Abu Hanifa? He said, no. Let's get the estimator. So estimator comes and he estimated it for 500 and Abu Hanifa Rahimahullah paid her 500. He could have just simply said, because you only asked for 100, let me profit. 400 I will get. Of course, he will be selling for 600. If the cost price is 500 in the market, he may make a profit and then more profit. So this is the ethical business. This is the amana, religious business owner. Imam Abu Hanifa, our mentor, committed employee won't be slack. He will not just, check in and check out, and then during the time WhatsApp and Facebook and whatsoever, slacken his duties. No. And then he will use that copy machine or printing machine for things which has nothing to do with his work, cheating, using the resources of the office for his personal benefit. No. Umar ibn Abdullah Aziz, no. Somebody visited him and personal use. So he removed the lamp because the oil is coming from the treasury. So he didn't want to use that for his personal transaction, for business, personal business. This is the kind of amana. When amana becomes a norm, it causes corruption and builds trust. What you see rampant all around us, look how they are abusing the resources of the ummah for their personal, all around the Muslim world. Look at these rulers, thousands of luxury cars, thousands of rooms, old toilets. It will be a shame. And yet they are praying. They are in the Jummah. They are in the Taraweeh. What happened? There is no connection between ethics and religion. That was not the religion our mentors like Mawardi practiced and taught. That's not a religion of our Imams. Because you cannot isolate ethics, worldly ethics, from religious ethics. No amana, no religion. La deena lima la amanata lahu. Amana is taken away, no deen. So we are living in a time when there is no amana. Ethics from the public square completely disappeared. When amana becomes a norm, it comes corruption will trust more powerfully than regulations alone. So regulation is not going to help unless everybody governing himself just and strong authority. Next pillar is Sultan Qahir, just and strong authority. Islam has a place for power, governance. You cannot take governance out of the Islam because governance protects the community, upholds justice, prevents chaos. Chaos and lawlessness is not encouraged in Islam. That's worse. Qahir means strong and prevailing, not oppressive. A strong authority means doesn't mean oppressive. A strong authority means power used ethically, wielded ethically, practiced ethically for just cause and to stop chaos and corruption. That is called Sultan al Qahir. A just authority protects religion, prevents corruption, safeguards life and property. When it fulfills its duty, society finds peace, unity, and prosperity. Good intentions are not enough. Mawardi reminds us that without just authority, the strong will crush the weak. A stable state is the shield that lets society thrive. But now, what we see all around us, those who wield power are corrupt from top to bottom, and their officers are corrupt, their everyone, the consultants are corrupt. The more you bribe them, that's what's happening. The Zionists bribe the elected officials so that they can get away. They can break all the laws. There is no international law and order. The law and order to be applied on the weak by the powerful. It does not apply to those in authority, those who have power. So that was what Mawardi was, telling us. Mawardi's 7 duties of a just ruler. What are the 7? Just ruler? Preserve faith. In the case of a Muslim ruler, he should guard Islam from deviation. That religion is no use for corruption, heresy, evil. Religion is preserved intact. Faith. Ensure justice, resolve disputes through legal rulings. Right, ethical rulings. Defend the realm, secure borders and public safety. Enforce laws, apply punishment to protect rights ethically, justly, and fairly. Collect revenue justly, zakat and state income without oppression. Appoint trustworthy, competent, honest officials. Lead with oversight, personally supervising core governance. It's very, very important. These are the duties of a just ruler. Leadership as a trust. In his great work, Mawardi Hakam Sultaniya, he has another work. Of course, he has a number of works closely related to this issue. In Hakam Sultaniya, he outlined ruler's role not as a pursuit of power, but as a series of sacred trusts. So, leadership is a trust, preserving faith to collecting taxes and defending borders. Leadership is viewed as a holistic service to both deen and society. So, this is a beautiful. This is the way Islam envisages power and authority. Quranic and prophetic basis for order. Or you have believed, obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those in authority among you. Caliph Usman bin Affan radiallahu anhu said, indeed Allah restrains with the Sultan with authority that which he does not restrain with the Quran. So Quran and Sultan goes hand in hand. They complement each other, protect each other, safeguard each other. You know, the dangers of anarchy. Imam Ghazali says the world is a garden fenced by the state. The state thrives through the Sunnah, and justice is its foundation. It's a timeless vision of order and balance. World is a garden fenced by the state. The state thrives through the Sunnah, and justice is foundation. Practical application of this Sultan Kahir in action. How it is manifested in society? Fair courts, justice, independent. Now that is compromised too. They are everywhere. In India, it's the same. They want to interfere. There is no independent legal system now. But no, without that, if the justice is not independent and fair court, honest police, and trusted regulators, when institutions work, contracts are honored, money is safe, and society thrives. That is the strength of a just authority. In today's world, Sultan doesn't refer to a person, but to the system of state institutions whose integrity and strength uphold order, justice, and national stability. So, what a beautiful, how relevant. We are relating what Imam Mawardi said to our present condition. So, it's relevant. Summary of pillars 1 and 2. Religion provides the internal moral compass. Authority provides the external framework of order and protection with clear responsibilities. There are two sides of the same coin working together to create a stable society. Two wheels. They has to go, both of them will have to be fully strong, balanced for the society to move forward. Now, pillar number 3, Adlun Shamil, comprehensive justice. Justice is the soul of authority. Authority has a soul, and the soul of authority is, let us say, it's the body. The soul of authority is justice. What justice does? Prevents abuse, secure rights, strengthens hearts, wealth, and society. No enemy harms authority like its own injustice. Oppression removes blessings and invites ruin. That's what is unfolding in front of us. Because corruption and injustice and oppression prevails and justice is taken away, all the blessings are taken away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and brings down ruin, destruction of the society, the social order, the nation, and the humanity. The ship is destroyed, shipwreck. Justice is a necessity, not just an ideal. Justice is not just virtuous, it is essential for stability and prosperity. Injustice, says Mawardi, is the fastest path to a ruler's downfall. Sooner or later, it will catch up with him and then go down. You have seen how the tyrants perished. Traits of a just ruler: justice, piety, fairness, moral integrity, knowledge, sound judgment in faith and governance, clear senses, accurate hearing, sight, and speech, physical ability fit to lead and act, prudence, wisdom in managing affairs, not reckless, courage, najda, bravery to uphold justice and protect the people. These are the traits of a just ruler. Why injustice erodes the trust. When the shepherd becomes a wolf, the sheep scatter. And what you see, people have no trust in their rulers, in their leaders, even in the scholars. They have no trust now because everybody has become corrupt. It kills the economy, oppression ruins the land, and chokes effort. Why should I work? Because no matter how work I earn, all of my money goes into taxes to fill the pockets of the capitalists. So I don't need to work so hard. In my divine wrath, it said may survive disbelief, but not injustice. That's why Imam Ibn Taymiyyah was asked, how come, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving to the kuffar? He said, Allah saves a just ruler over a just a kafir over an unjust Muslim ruler. So when there is injustice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send these people to punish. And Imam al are sent to punish the unjust Muslims as well. Injustice is the faster path to a nation's collapse. Quranic commands stand for justice, O believers, stand firmly for justice as witness of Shuhada alillah, Qawwamina bilqas, Shuhada alillah. Even against yourself or parents, rich or poor, Allah is above all. Do not follow desire and deviate from justice. Beautiful. So we are commanded to stand, uphold justice, even if justice is against our own interest. That's not what we see all around us. Prophetic stand for justice. Nations before you perish because they spared the noble and punished the weak. By Allah, if Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, stole, I will cut off her hand. Because this, a Muslim lady stole. So they wanted to uh, intercede so that Rasulullah sallallahu spare her the punishment. This is what is happening in the corrupt societies. Islam cannot do that. A state can survive disbelief, but not injustice. Ali ibn Abi Talib, that's the real understanding of the Quranic and Sunnah perspective on justice. Injustice is the true threat to any society. Just societies cannot survive. Justice in daily life. How do we apply justice in daily life? At work, fair promotions based on merit build trust and motivation. I remember Dr. Ismail Faruqi and Dr. Fazlur Rahman, both of them high professors, academics from North America. Fazlur Rahman became the director of Islamic Research Institute in Karachi, and he invited Faruqi to help build that research institute. Faruqi became so disappointed and he resigned and came back. He wrote, there is no ethics there in recruitment. You will see a chaprasi, a doorman, suddenly recruited to a professor without any credentials, no study, nothing. What is a credential? Because he is closer to the ruler. How can so that is promotions based on merit build trust and motivation. So there is no trust. Faruqi resigned. He had no motivation to work there. Why am I wasting my life? So he came back and he was a professor in Temple University until he was assassinated. He did a good service because he produced a lot of scholars who became fair and sympathetic to the way Islam is projected in the Western North America. In the family, equal treatment of children nurtures love, not resentment. Because when this rule is violated, the parents turn one child against the other. So there is disharmony in the family. How often you see it? I have witnessed it in so many cases in serving as an imam for over 52 years in North America. So many cases come before me. In society, support equal access to education, healthcare, and justice for all. But this doesn't apply in the Muslim countries or here because the closer you are to the authority, you get promoted, you get a high position in this and that, higher, better health care. So justice is not blind. It's look who you are, what is your age, what status, who you are connected with. Justice begins with everyday choices. The fourth pillar is public security, the fruit of justice, consultation, and leadership. A peaceful and safe society is the natural outcome of first three pillars we mentioned. How? The society, when you have these things straightened out, enables people to live, travel, and trade without fear. With security, fellowship grows, joy deepens, worries fade, lives are safe, and commerce thrives. Beautiful. With security, when those three pillars are straightened out in place and sound and strong, fellowship grows, joy deepens, worries fade, lives are safe, and commerce and business thrive. Quran on security as a divine blessing. My Lord, Ibrahim alayhi salam is praying, make this secure land and provide his people with fruits. جعل هذا البلد آمنا وارزق أهله. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِلَى في قريش إِلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ. He fed them against hunger and made them secure from fear. Allah answered the prayer of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Practical application: security, economy of trust. Security fuels prosperity. Safe cities enable nightlife, community events, and business growth. Investors thrive where stability exists. Trust reduces costs. Less spend on guards, insurance, and education. People can focus on creating, not just protecting. You see, everything we see around us, reverse of it. When Trump goes, visits the country, the whole security of power goes, travels with him. How much? The same way all of these powerful rulers, how many millions are wasted because no security. People don't have any trust. There is no safety. Or none of these pillars are in order. From society to self. Now, all of this thing is connected with previous discussions. A righteous society begins with righteous individuals because previous sessions, two sessions we were talking about. So we are just coming back to that, everything aligned together. It's a coherent system. Adabul aql, ethics of intellect, ethics of knowledge, adabul ilm, adabul muashara, ethics of social conduct. Adabul aql, ethics of etiquette of the intellect. Intellect is the source of all etiquette. It discerns truth from falsehood. Must not be overpowered by hawa. Intellect, in order to function properly, must not be overpowered by hawa. Because when you are carried away by your lusts and whims and fancies, desire extinguishes the light of intellect. So you govern not by the light of intellect, by subjective. Your judgment becomes impaired, subjective, and leading to corruption. Intellect versus desire. Have you seen the one who takes his desire as his God? So very, very important that we govern. Our intellect must be governed by stray, guarded against getting carried away by our whimsical desires, subjective inclinations, and preferences. Otherwise, our Lord God, we worship our ego. That is shirk. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim said, desires cause sickness of the heart that clouds reason. So our task should be let reason lead, not ego. So make a distinction between, see how you are judging. Practicing adabul aqal, how? Adabul aqal, pause before reacting. Use intellect, not impulse. Seek truth even if uncomfortable. That's not what we see around. People are not seeking truth. The simple truth, straightforward truth. And they want disguise the truth. They use words to cover up the truth. And falsehood is projected as the truth. Truth is projected as falsehood. That's all the wars. Why there's so much support for Israel, even though no matter what they do, is portrayed as self-defense. They were the one who attacked Iran. But yet, they find fault with Iran, not with Israel. Because justified in self-defense, they say. How can they be justified in they make an unprovoked war? So Iran retaliates, and that is aggression. Stuff. So everything, practicing adabul aqal is not there. They are not seeking truth. Emotional intelligence and critical thinking. Emotional intelligence and critical thinking. Modern expressions of adabul aqal as uh, presented by Imam al Mawardi. That is the way. Now, adabul ilm is knowledge with purpose. Knowledge without action is a curse. You may know the truth as truth, but if you don't practice it, that knowledge is not. Iblis had a lot of knowledge, but that knowledge became a source of curse for him. Iblis, he was called peacock of worshippers, but then he lost it all because his knowledge did not save him from pleasing himself, because he was so arrogant, puffed up with pride. I am better than Adam because he's created from the dust, I'm created from fire. So am I not better? So why should I prostrate to Adam? But this is arrogance. Knowledge refines the soul. True knowledge refines the soul. Genuine knowledge must transform character and behavior. So humility, it leads to humility. The Quran and Sunnah of knowledge, only those who fear Allah are those who have knowledge. True knowledge leads to fear of Allah. I seek refuge from knowledge that profits not. Rasulullah's prayer was, Inni a'udhu bika min ilmin la yanfa' wa min qalbin la yakhsha'. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to seek refuge in Allah from knowledge that benefits not. It's not enough. Knowledge must lead to humility and action. Practice in ethical living. Remove all taints of haram from business and transactions. Not just stop eating haram, so-called haram meat. No, examine every conduct, business conduct, every transaction, or taints of haram, unethical behavior, unethical element from all of your business transactions. Medical professional, update skills to better serve others. Not just stop because you have learned it from medical school. Medicine has progressed forward and more discoveries, more beneficial medicines. So update your skills. Every field we need to update. Even a scholar had to update. He has to research more and more so that he doesn't end up just repeating the same thing that he studied in undergraduate. That's the problem now. Undergraduates, everything is black and white. When you go to advanced, postgraduate, PhD level, you're exposed to a wider perspective, different schools of thought, different, way of presenting the same thing. Then you become tolerant. You do not need the people to find this religion rigid and then give up religion because ruling does not relate to their condition, because they give fatwa based on what is written down in the book, just like a physician prescribing medicine based on what is written down in the book. You will kill that patient. It's what Ibn al-Qayyim said. A mufti who is giving fatwa based on what is written down in the book, fatwa books of the past, he will destroy the faith. Just like a physician who practices medicine without looking at the conduct, and the examining the condition, the diet and the milieu of the patient, simply prescribing based on what is written down in the book will kill that patient. So how can I use this knowledge for good? That is the question should be asked. Adabul muashara, social etiquette. Accompany those who conceal your faults and support you in hardship. It's very, very important. A person is on the religion of a close friend. Friendship. Watch your company. Very important for the parents to see who their children are accompanying, who are the friends. I have seen good people, good boys. I'm fresh from Pakistan, maybe, I suspected. This boy is now sitting with a gang. And you can see this innocent boy is now corrupted by this bad company. Sooner or later, he may end up being a gangster or whatever, deviant. So, good company is very important. It's like perfume, bad company like smoke. Uh, Social conduct in action. How do we apply it in action? Honor parents, uphold kinship ties. Instruction from the Quran, order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Neighbors, be compassionate and protective. Society, be a force of benefit and mercy for all. Digital and local, practice these ethics online and offline to build strong, just communities. Brothers and sisters, I conclude with this, and next week we combine the two sessions and conclude this. The main focus of the next session will be Adabun Nafs, ethics of the soul, and Nafs, the individual self. So, inshallah, I hope you have benefited. I want you to revisit this because many of you may not be present here, but come back to it, watch it, and reflect and embody these lessons in your so that we can lead an ethical life, a benefit to ourselves and humanity, so that we take this world as what it is, as a temporary station. We are in a motel, we have checked in, and sooner or later I will be checking out. You will be checking out, and then we will proceed to another phase of our existence. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us, inspire us to learn beneficial knowledge and practice what the wisdom and ethical knowledge that we have learned, embody it in our thoughts, our words, our actions, the way we interact in the masjid and outside the masjid, in the marketplace, with our neighbors, as we walk and talk and interact. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us. Let us understand the beauty of this religion. It's so beautiful. Every single day, as far as I am concerned, I have been in this pursuit from the age 10. I'm almost getting 80 now. but every single day I am studying, discovering precious insight, fresh insight, the beauty of this religion. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honor me and you to enhance our knowledge and our practice of the beautiful religion which has been sent as a mercy for the worlds. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I will see you next week. But next week we are going to conclude this two sessions compressed into one. So bear with me as we may take a little more time extra. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In the meantime, I will urge you and myself to pray for all those who are undergoing oppression and tyranny and subjugation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come to their aid and relief. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.